What is going on, guys? Welcome to the Rivalry weekly NFC West talk with Ryan, no crypto Ryan at No Border Sports, and me, Joe Stevens with Seahawk Talk. What's going on, man?
You like my little sign language for the rivalry?
Minus 10 points for Bryant complaining.
He says he's out. That was me, Bryant. I'm sorry. I couldn't help myself. I saw it. I was like,
but yeah, man, I guess usually we do kind of our teams and get to the other teams first. How about this week we get to the dumpster fires and then we'll get to our teams second?
Yeah,
because I kind of want to get them out of the way.
there's
Well, the Rams, not so much. The Cardinals, I don't know what they're doing.
What up, Willie Rodriguez? Thank you for showing up.
What's up, Willie? What's up, Bryant?
Oh, that's what we got.
First, Aaron calls me a cult. I don't know what that means, but
so Aaron from 49ers First Takes, he probably called him Bryant Colt instead of Bryant Culp. That's what I'm guessing. I'm guessing I didn't get to see it. Aaron had a show earlier with Ted, First and Ted. I was dealing with some issues. Oh man.
Nobody drink Bryant's Kool-Aid. If he's offering to send you any Kool-Aid, don't drink it. Because if he's the Bryant Colt now, I don't know.
Right. What kind of sweatpants and sneakers do we all gotta wear, Bryant? He says he's feeling like Rodney Dangerfield. You can't get no respect. You can't
just kidding. We don't want Stockton to turn into the new Waco. We really don't, Bryant. So stay away from that.
Oh, David Koresh in it. Okay.
Yeah.
It's funny because when that all went down, I was like, I heard the name of that town, Corpus Christi, right? I was like, that's a crazy town. Turns out my dad was born there.
Yeah. So my dad went
to Waco. He was right next to Corpus Christi. So I was like, oh my gosh, that's where my dad was born.
Yeah, so that's crazy. So my dad is not born there at all. He went to some classes just for work down in Waco, and he went out to dinner there, and he was asking the locals about it, and they go, dude, that wasn't even in Waco. We're just the closest town, blah, blah, blah. I guess he said everybody was super nice there and not in a cult. So, that's tight. My favorite, we're going to get off topic first, but I don't know if you've seen the South Park episode where they're doing it. They think everybody's in a cult, right? So they're like, we have to kill these people before they kill themselves. And that was the funniest shit.
Dude, South Park is so good with things sometimes.
They were watching a meteor shower, right? And all the parents were all drunk and stuff. And the ATF comes, we have to kill these people before they kill themselves. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, South Park has a way of not directly saying what they're talking about, but definitely you got to be in the know just a little bit, and you can understand what they're talking about.
They're so good, and have you seen their process? How it only takes them like their 7-day work week.
Yeah, and they get it done right before.
Yeah, and it's always crazy. So good. It's I like how it's
current.
It's based on the current stuff, but it's like blown out of all proportions, but yet there's always like a good moral. There's always a good moral in there that you could take away. And like I watched the Britney Spears one, just wanting to laugh and point and make fun at Britney Spears. By the end of that episode, I was like, man, I feel like a dick.
Yeah, exactly. Because everybody, Well, that's the thing about South Park. It doesn't matter if you're red, green, blue, yellow.
Yes.
And left, right, north, east, west, whatever. It really they make fun of everybody, including themselves, and that's what I love about that show.
Yes, I'm sorry, but if you're going to be political in any sort of way, you got to take shots at both sides. You know what I mean? Like your side, everybody's side. You got to take all the shots because then it's not funny. If you're not taking shots at everybody, then it's pointed, it's directed. You know what I mean? If everybody can get it and they do on a regular basis, that's where I'm like, hell yeah. Because it shows, it shows the the stupidity in certain things, right? And if you can't laugh at your own stupidity, essentially, how are you able to laugh at somebody else's stupidity? You
Yeah,
really
well, like, especially when they did the pandemic specials, because I have friends on both sides. I'm right in the middle. I don't really care. I have friends on both sides of the spectrum, right? But everybody was able to laugh at it because everybody was able to step back and they're making fun of all different sorts of people. It's awesome the way they do it. I love it.
yeah.
But yeah, sorry to get so off topic, right from the jump, but
Even with being so divisive, they could bring people together.
exactly. I mean, they did during that pandemic special because I got friends, like I said, on both sides of the spectrum. I mean, and there's no change in their minds, so I don't try to.
Because
And
I've seen shows where people are like, "Oh, the South Park Raiders are conservative, and this is why," and it's like the South Park Raiders are liberal, and this is why, and it's like, nah, everybody gets some. Everybody gets some.
they're not even both. They just make fun of both. I don't think that's what I love about them. So
yeah.
Anyways, back to football. Yeah, we've seen basketball. Well, I've
Don't
seen
worry.
basketball.
I skipped class to go see basketball.
Anyways,
as you should. As you should.
The Arizona Cardinals released DeAndre Hopkins. I don't know what they're doing.
So what they were trying to do, they were trying to shop him, they were trying to get a pick. But I think his hit was going to be 19.5 million, I think. Or 19 and like 45 million or 19.45 million. I don't know. You know what I mean? So like somewhere over 19 million, but under 20. And they were looking to try and maybe buy a pick from somebody. Pretty much say, hey, we'll eat this contract the higher the pick you give us. And they had two people look into him with as far as the trade went, and it was the Chiefs, and I can't remember the other team now. I don't know if it was the Bills. It might have been, though. Also might have been the
Baltimore.
It might have been Baltimore, but I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But I know one of them was the Chiefs. And so right now, I heard a couple people, wondering why he hasn't been taken. And the reason being is, well, everybody's slotted all their cap room. They've done their readjustments already. Like anybody who's going to get signed now is going to have to take a very good team-friendly deal, or he's going to have to do a 2-year contract where he didn't want to do. He wanted to do a 1-year contract. So I don't know. Plus, people are saying that like I hear that around the league, some people are out on him, saying that he really can't go fast anymore. He can't get separation. He can still make good contested catches, but he's not that weapon that he once was. So to spend all this money hoping he's going to be your number one wide receiver when that's not the case, it's going to be like Julio Jones in his later years. You know what I mean?
I don't think it's that bad, though.
It might not be, but that's the opinion I heard from somebody. Was getting consensus from around the league as far as GMs go. And there was like, one of them was like, nope. The other one was like, maybe we like what he could do. And then the other one was pretty much like, he's still got some things, but he's still got some things he can, offer the team, but he doesn't have everything. And so that for that, he was out. So to me, it seems like there's a mixed bag of thoughts out there on what he can actually do this year. So I think that's really probably his biggest roadblock right now is teams and their impressions of what he can do. So to me, I would want to be trying to put out tape
on Instagram and shit. I just put up tape from last season, because I think he did great as soon as he came back. I mean, I could be completely wrong. Ask a Cardinals fan. If there's any Cardinals fans, let us know. But I thought he was decent when he came back from the suspension.
Oh, he got us for 100+ yards, but like, I don't know. I think he might have got in Travarius Ward's head a little bit, maybe busted him on a play, and then it seemed like Travarius Ward was just talking trash all night long, but it wasn't really like going his way. He was just running his mouth. You know what I'm saying? You know how when they just talk, like the talk is finally going to do something that their play wasn't able to do. You know what I mean? Get in people's heads.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I don't know what the Cardinals are doing, to be honest. To the root of what we're talking about, I have no idea what they're doing, because it makes no sense. Are they tanking? I don't think they're an NFL. It's so hard for an NFL team to tank.
Not really. Not in their situation. Think about this. You are going to have a backup quarterback start your season.
Yeah, for the first 8 games.
Right. And then when your quarterback comes back, there's a new system. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, brand new. With Cannon.
Yeah. So you could do things that could help secure the fact that you might get the number 1 overall pick in the situation of the Cardinals. You know what I mean? Because Kyler Murray necessarily isn't I would say the best quarterback in the league.
No, but they paid him. They can get out of it.
So you ever been behind somebody in a Mercedes and they just really can't drive?
Yeah.
My this happens all the time, especially in Seattle. I always my patented phrase is, just because you can buy a Mercedes doesn't mean you know how to drive one.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? Who cares how much Kyler Murray's getting paid? It's all about what computes onto the field, what translates onto the field. And it's not translating well. Well, it's not translating in the way that it should be.
It's not translating in the second half of the season, that's for sure. And last season, it didn't even translate in the first half of the season. That's the problem. Because you remember the last 2 years, the first half of the season, I mean, they were doing pretty solid. And yes. Kyler was great. And then it's like teams figure him out halfway through the year. And he's like, unless it is truly when Call of Duty comes out in about early December, right?
Dude, I don't know. To me, I don't think the guy puts in the work. I have a feeling. And that could be shown in how he came out with the new system finally, or was it a new system at that time, or was it the second year of Cliff Kingsbury? I think it was the second year of Cliff Kingsbury, and he comes out and he's doing great. So, they might have had a better game plan going that year. They might have been more familiar with the system. What I noticed is it seems like Kyler Murray doesn't know what the hell he's doing until he gets out to the sideline and then stops his feet and throws the ball. But up until then, I swear he doesn't have an idea what's going on.
Yeah, I guess you could make the case. I mean, that's when his most electric plays come from, right? Outside the pocket. But same with Russell Wilson. They're both short guys. But, I mean, at least when Russ was in the pocket, he knew. You were still afraid of Russell in the pocket. I'm not afraid of Kyler in the pocket.
Not ever. At all. The only thing I could be scared about him being in the pocket with is if him and a receiver if he had a really fast receiver and he just did, like a 5-step drop and just chucked it to a point where he knew the receiver was going to be. That's the only way it would scare me, because he does have a great arm. But I think,
and they tried that though with Hollywood Brown.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
And it did not work. I mean, I couldn't tell you anything that Hollywood Brown did last year.
I was so happy he went to the Cardinals.
For the first round pick, yeah.
Oh, I was so ecstatic. So ecstatic. I don't know how they thought that was a good deal. To me, the way I saw it was he's too small to be in the NFC West.
Not even that, just talent-wise. Even a small guy like Tyler Lockett, because Tyler Lockett works out great in the NFC West, right? He's
smart. He's small, but he's not small and small. You know what I mean? Like Hollywood Brown.
He kind of is.
Okay, maybe I've never seen a person.
Lockett's weird the way it works. I mean, you look at the guy, you wouldn't think he'd play in the NFL, but I don't know if it's just smart. He has the great hands, but
I think he has better skills, so he can actually, and he gets down immediately, especially now. Like lately, he's been getting down immediately, and I don't knock him for it. I don't knock the man for it.
No, he barely missed any games last year.
At a certain time. At a certain time, there used to be, like, that guy's a punk. Oh, he's scared. You know what I mean? But now that I see how the game goes, how, people don't really last in the league, I don't mind it at all. You know what I mean? I would hope some of my guys every once in a while is like, you know what, I should just go down right now. You know what I mean? I don't need to muscle through 3 people to get 2 more yards. So it's already a first down. But you can't stop our guys from doing that because they're picked because they have that aggressiveness in them. And I know me personally, you get me out in a competition like that, a physical competition, I'm trying to do the same thing. You know what I mean? It's inside you. You just want to show people who the boss is. You know what I mean? In all aspects of your game. And,
and Lockett's been really good at that. Last year, I mean, it was it got annoying a little bit, but then you think about it, he didn't really miss anything. I mean, if DK did that, everybody would be pissed off. Right?
And he didn't do it all the time. Like in games that were kind of close, you saw him trying to stay up and go for extra yards because he knew it meant more. You know what I mean? Like he had to.
And like on third down, he'll make that, but if it's second down,
right.
It's frustrating sometimes, but at the same time, like I said, the only time he missed was because he broke his finger last year. So, I mean, what do you say?
Yeah, look, availability is the best ability. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And he's a key part to your offense. And if you didn't have him before your draft this year, it would have been just DK, and that's not good for your offense.
Mm-mm.
DK and a running back is all you got. You know what I mean? It's not what you need. Not to say that your quarterback is nothing, but as far as, the scheme, it's not like he's running the ball. You know what I'm saying? He's passing.
You can have the best quarterback in the world if you got junk weapons around him. He's not going to be very good.
Right. So, to me, I'd take it if he was on my team. I would take it because you got all that production. You know what I'm saying? He's going to produce.
Mm-hmm.
Going to give you yards, and he's going to give you points. You know what I mean? It gives you another threat. You got to respect them both.
Yeah, I mean, Lockett and DK are just awesome because of how consistent they are. Like, they're consistently putting up like 60, 70 yards and a touchdown. And you can't really ask it. I mean, every once in a while, one will pop off for like 150 and 2 touchdowns, obviously. But I like how consistent those two work together, right? Nobody's ever jealous of one another. No one wants the ball more than DK, I guess, is throwing tantrums, but you'd never see Tyler Lockett do that.
Yeah, that's the other thing with those. Like, I would expect DK to throw tantrums. He seems like more of a man child, but Lockett, I don't expect Lockett. He seems so cool and calm. You know what I mean? Like, he's like the plumber. He shows up, he does his work, he goes home. You know what I mean? Like,
that's him. You never really hear anything from him.
Yeah. Silent warrior over in the corner, just doing his job. You know what I mean? Unsung hero. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I No, Lockett and Baldwin remind me a lot of each other, not with their personalities or anything, but the way they play and the way they're perceived around the NFL. Nobody's looking at Lockett as a number one receiver,
Oh,
but
49ers, we know.
but you know what I mean, right? As
Mhm.
far as national narrative goes,
Yeah.
no one's saying, "Oh, this guy's amazing." But I mean, watch him on Sunday; he'll go out there and produce every Sunday. So
He's great in the system, and that's all that matters. You know what I mean? You don't have to put him up in a different system and go, see, look, he can't handle it. It doesn't matter. He's on the Seahawks. He's playing in this system. It totally works. He gets open. He gets his yards. You can't, there's no way you could talk shit about it. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what's weird about Lockett is he's one of the most likable people too. I don't know about how 49ers fans feel about him, but I mean, he just doesn't really piss anybody off. Maybe he'll piss you off when he's, getting a first down touchdown, but
Well, yeah. But that's
he's
not something you hold personally against somebody.
Like DK,
You know what I
I
mean?
can see people hate him, right?
Yeah.
And that's part of DK, right? People are gonna like him, people are gonna hate him. With Lockett, it's kind of cool just because he's kind of under the radar,
I don't hate DK. I just don't care for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah, but if he was on your team, you'd like him.
I don't hate him, but I don't like him. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
so I don't know if I'm sure you haven't seen this, but I'll show it to you.
mhm.
We had do you know who Colton McKivitz is?
Lineman?
Yes. He should be he's penciled in as our starting right tackle.
Okay.
As far as we know. So one of the content creators named John Chapman, he put out like a 3-minute compilation of Colton McKivitz stonewalling Aaron Donald. Yeah, Aaron Donald. And it was hilarious. Because like at one point he just gets him, he's got a really good grip of him. He's holding him and he's just like keeping him in the same spot. And just like the play's already gone and over and he's got him held. He's like, I'm not letting you go. I got you, bitch. And you could tell Aaron's like, man, get off me, right? And so then later something happens and like what does he do? He moves to the side or something and gets turned around. Aaron Donald gets turned around and McKivitz gives him a push. You know what I'm saying? Like a sneaky little push at the end. And so there's all this and that. And at one point, like Aaron Donald turns around and is like talking and this like, so you could tell this McKivitz, not only does he stonewall Aaron Donald here and there, but he gets under his skin. And to me, I like an offensive lineman, or I like a lineman. I like players that get under other players' skin and know that that's a part of the game. So when somebody is doing it to them and this and that, they don't get pissed because they know I'm not going to play your game, bruh. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here trying to aggravate this guy so he, causes a penalty.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. When
it comes to offensive linemen, I like shit talking motherfuckers. I will tell you that much right now. We had a guy, Breno Giacomini. You probably don't remember him. He wore number 68. He was right tackle for the Seahawks. He'd get in fights every single game, and it was awesome because you knew that he cared, right? You knew that he cared. I mean, I'm one of those guys. He never got called for holding. He'd get like every 3 weeks, he got like one 15-yard penalty, which totally sucked and kind of pissed you off. But in your head, I'd rather take that one 15-yard penalty every 3 weeks than a bunch of holding calls 1 week, a bunch of false starts 1 week. At least the guy cares. At least the guy wants to win. You know where he wears his heart on his sleeve, right? He cares about this team. So,
well, it's like your quarterback goes down or your quarterback gets hit funny or this or that. Are you one of the guys that want your lineman to go over there and put their foot down somebody's throat? Rough them up?
Well,
yeah, of course.
Not only quarterback, say a receiver gets hit right in the head. Like it was total, like one guy was holding him up and then the receiver gets hit right in the head. Yeah, I'm one of those guys, no matter who it is, quarterback, running back, whatever. If it's a dirty play, I want him to act like it's hockey, right? I want him to act like it's hockey if there's a dirty play.
And see, we can't have that in the NFL either. Because
you can't.
The teams are too big and the guys are just too
athletic.
Yeah. Well, not to say that hockey players aren't athletic, because them guys are fast. You know what I'm saying? They know how to hit people, but you're talking about some devastating force with these guys. The NFL players are all tuned up to the umpteenth degree. You know what I mean? Like, if you're not jumping out of your mind, if you're not sprinting faster than the 1 percentile, the 99th percentile, you know, it's
Yeah. Yeah, it's just I like a nasty guy like that, to be honest. So McKivitz, Stonewall, Aaron Donald, you say.
yeah. Give it
And
Stonewall.
someone made a video of it or something.
Yep.
That's probably going crazy with 49ers fans and stuff.
Well, maybe not going crazy. We have a little more pause than that, but everybody was like, they never picked a tackle in the draft, and so people were amiss about that. And so we might understand more now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. What is Joe's prediction of the Seahawks record? I'll say 11-5, and then that extra game, give or take. How about you?
I'm thinking anywhere between a 12-5 and a 13-4.
Anywhere between there.
Yeah.
So either one.
Yeah. It could realistically too. We could even be higher than that. We've got a crappy schedule, but as far as time,
that's
but
what happens when you finish first place in a division, right? You get the first place schedule as well. So,
but we also know how to travel. We're smart with our traveling. Do you know how we travel?
Nope.
Oh, so like if we've got two East Coast games, we'll go out there and then they'll stay at a resort in between, so they don't fly back. They stay out there. They might go to a different, like they might stay at one resort 1 week and then go stay at another resort another week. But they do like everything out there, and they try to they get the jet lag over with. You know what I mean? And they get going on things, and then they don't have to worry about coming back and flying back. It's just a quick flight. Boom, there we go. In fact, before the Mexico City game, they flew to Colorado to get some high altitude. So they trained there for a week. I can't remember where it was in Colorado, but it was like Winter Park or something up there with high elevation. Right.
Aspen, were they skiing?
Well, no, it wasn't Aspen, but it was high elevation because they couldn't spend the time in Mexico City to get used to the weather. So what they did is the time's going to be the same essentially. Mm-hmm. So they just flew down to it afterwards. So they had the acclimation to the height as much as they could. So to me, I think that's one thing that gives us an edge. And I don't hear about a lot of other teams doing it.
No, I'll tell you, I'm not just tooting my own horn here as a Seahawks fan. I don't know what the Seahawks do when they travel to the East Coast, but ever since Pete Carroll has taken over, we have been insanely good at those 10 a.m. start games or 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't know what they do because we had Mike Holmgren, right, from 1999 through 2008. And then we'll say 2009 because Jim Moore was a Holmgren guy. We sucked on the East Coast. I mean, we were terrible. We couldn't win a 10 a.m. start game to save our lives. And then ever since Pete Carroll's came in, I don't know what he does different, whether it's just the mindset of people. But yeah, those 10 a.m. games we've been really good at. So I can't complain. I don't know what they're doing, but don't stop, right? So.
I forgot what grocery store Mike Holmgren goes to, but if I remember, I'll ask my buddy. I'll ask my homeboy if he can ask around, but Mike Holmgren was always spotted at this one grocery store.
Yeah, so he lives up north, Kirkland.
Yeah, so if I figure it out, I can tell you which one to camp out in front of.
No, I'm not that kind of guy.
I'm messing.
But yeah, no, we're good on the East Coast. I don't, like I said, I don't know what it is. I don't know what they do, but they better not stop. I'm just happy we don't have to play overseas this year. You guys don't have to play overseas this year because that's complete bullshit. I hate it. So
I don't mind that they play overseas, but they need to do it in a way that it doesn't hurt a team's next game. And it seems like every team that goes over there and plays, their next games are just trash. And to me, it's
even
not
if
worth it.
we had a bye week afterwards, we played in Germany last year. I was going to say London, but it was in Munich, Germany. And we went to Germany, and then ever since after that game, everything went off the rails. After that, I mean, that game, everything went off the rails. And also, I believe the game started at 3 p.m. in Germany, right? That's 6 a.m. here. Why are we making us in Washington State as fans get up at 5 o'clock, take a shower to watch a football game? I mean, start at 9 a.m. That's bullshit. I'll stand by that. That's complete bullshit.
Well, let's think about that. So they started at 3 over in Germany?
Yeah, why not start at 5 in Germany? Make it 8 a.m. here.
Yeah. Well, or even 6 o'clock. I don't know what their normal bedtime would be. You know what I mean? Who knows? Maybe they like to be in bed by 8:30. You know what I mean?
Well, it's bullshit. I mean, like I said, we're all on the West Coast, right? We're playing the Buccaneers. So all the people that are in Tampa, Florida, that are Buccaneers fans, right? They get up at 8 o'clock, take a shower, or whatever. 8 a.m. is not insane to get up and watch a football game, but I mean 5 o'clock.
I'm not trying to be drunk at 6:30 in the morning watching my team.
No, I mean, I'm sorry.
I'm just messing with you. I'm just,
That's one of my biggest bitches is about those overseas games is the fact that they start at 6 a.m. here, and I don't think that's fair to us as people on the West Coast.
I think they could figure things out a lot better. That's definitely true. They want to try and get a league going over there, but I don't see how you do it unless you do a whole nother league over there. And then you have the Super Bowl, and then you have whatever the European League Bowl is. Yeah, and then the winners of both play in the Super Duper Bowl.
Well, no, they did it with NFL Europe, right? And that's awesome because like teams like the XFL, teams like the USFL or leagues like that, why not just have one be the NFL Europe again? I don't get it. If you really want to play over there, the thing is everybody goes to these one NFL game a year in their city, right? Why not go to that one NFL game a year? See how they do. If there's 8 games a year, see how the attendance is with their team.
I don't know.
It just pisses me off. I hate getting up at 6 o'clock watching the Seahawks at 6 a.m. I love watching the Seahawks at 10 a.m. I love it because it gets it. Especially when they win, because I'm just watching football and the whole rest of the day. If they lose by 1 o'clock, I'm out doing yard work, doing something productive.
Dude, I feel so better on the earlier game because then like I'm watching all these other teams play, and I'm like watching, bad things happen. I'm like, ooh, I hope none of that happens in my game. You know what I'm saying? And it's like,
exactly.
You know what I mean? Especially when the Niners usually got a schedule. My Niners are always playing somebody. It seems like even when they're playing a nobody, the schedule, our record, it's a big deal because like in the beginning of the season we'll play like nobodies, but yet we got like a 3-5 record, right? And then all of a sudden
same thing.
And then we're coming up against the beasts in the in the league, and we're squeaking by, and it's like, man, you know what I mean? If only we could have been like that like last year. Think about it. We could have had home field advantage throughout the playoffs if we would have won 1 out of those 5 games we lost in the beginning of the season.
Well, you beat us handily 3 times, so if it makes you feel any better.
I guess, but it's like it's those things where it's like that could be the make or break next time. Then
Well, I don't know how you feel about Colin Cowherd. I hate the guy's guts, so
I hate him too.
I'm gonna look like a douchebag, bringing anything that he says up on the show because I hate him. So when I disagree with him, I'll speak very loudly. But he did put his top 10 teams in the NFC this today, and he had Eagles 1, 49ers 2, Seahawks 3. So that just it shows you that we are closing the gap in the NFC West, and I think it's going to be a tight race this year. I really do. I think it will be. I think it'll come down to about the final 3 weeks.
And I think there's the team that could challenge you for that 3rd spot would be the Lions.
I don't know about
that. That's my hot take, I guess.
No, the reason being everybody's riding the Lions' dick.
Well, they've been trending upwards, and we can see them. Yes. We can see a good team trying to bubble up. You know what I'm saying? We see, and not just a good team, but a passionate one. It seems like they really care, and they want to bite people's kneecaps off.
Yep. Yeah, that's the thing.
Which I'm fine with. I think it's okay. I just like, how to put it, like I can't write them off. I can't write them off. I can't remember if we play them. I don't think we do, and I'm kind of glad.
Yeah, what place did they finish in the division last year? 2nd? So we play them week 2. Sorry. I don't know.
Yeah.
That'll be, like I said, the Seahawks have a few. So the Seahawks play like.
Do you remember after that last game of the season, they beat the Packers?
Oh, of course I do, because that's how the Seahawks got in.
They lost their eligibility to go into the playoffs, but they beat the Packers, and which stopped the Packers from being able to go into the playoffs. And they thought they won the Super Bowl. I
thought we won the Super Bowl. So Seahawks and Lions fans joined that game. So it was the Lions wanted to knock the Packers out of the playoffs so bad, and we wanted them to knock the Packers out of the playoffs so bad because obviously that meant we get in. I remember this is story time now. This is not any what do you say? This is not my thoughts on anything. This is what happened. So the Seahawks beat the Rams in week 17 or week 18. So I bring one of my best friends from high school where he's still my best friend. And he doesn't go to a lot of games. He goes to like one with me a year. And I'm like, fuck it. We're not making the playoffs. Let's just stay late. And that's how Tariq Woolen signed that jersey right behind me because I stayed so late. I just hung out. Our seats are right by the tunnel. So I was like, fuck it. I never stay late and am an autograph hound, but I was like, fuck it. I'll just stay late and see what's going on. So we're just taking our time. He's like, let's go to the bar and see if the Seahawks will make the playoffs. And I go, no, the Packers are going to kick the shit out of the Lions. The Lions got nothing to play for. So we drive all the way back to Maple Valley. He's like, let's go to the bar and watch the game because it was still close. It was like halftime. And I go, okay, yeah, let's just go to the bar. We went to one in Maple Valley. I've never been so excited for the Lions winning a game in my life. But the Lions won a football game. I was jumping up and down. We were like the only people in the bar, right? Just watching this game, freaking out. The Seahawks made the playoffs. And it wasn't like the Seahawks made the playoffs with Russell Wilson at quarterback. It was just different. It was so fun.
You weren't supposed to do anything like that at the start of the year. None of you as fans would ever, any stable person that is a fan of the Seahawks would never thought they would be in that situation. You know what I'm saying?
No, I didn't. And you can ask me.
You know what I'm saying?
I said with or without Russell Wilson, we would win 7 or 8 games, which I didn't obviously I thought, no way we're making the playoffs. But we did it. We won 9. We won 9. And that
It's
was it was
it's almost like the Rams saying they're going to the playoffs this year. You know what I'm saying? Like that would be kind of the same situation I think you would be in. Not that because you had, Russell left and then Bobby left. You know what I mean? And so the Rams just kind of got gutted too. You know what I mean? So when it comes down to it, they're kind of in the same situation, but they won't have a year like you did. They've still got, they don't draft as well as other people. A lot of people are saying they did really good. Time will tell. I just don't have confidence because I haven't seen them do it in the past. So why should I expect them to all of a sudden do it now when they absolutely have to? You know what I mean?
No, 49ers drafting players is like the ones that I can think of, Aaron Donald, which that was obviously the previous regime. Taylor Rapp, the safety from UW, that was this regime. And Cooper Kupp. And I think that was the previous regime too. I could be completely wrong, but it seems like the Seahawks and 49ers and, well, the Cardinals have no talent, but it seems like the Seahawks and 49ers, a lot of it is homegrown. And that's what I love about it. You get to know these players when they're rookies and, going through the growing pains with these players, watching them. I almost don't like trading for big names like Jamal Adams because it seems we don't know anything about this guy other than he's a stud already and he's supposed to step right in. With those rookies, especially like those 3rd, 4th, 5th round picks that you get to watch grow and develop and turn into superstars, I think that's honestly more fun to watch than a guy that like Jalen Ramsey that they traded 2 first-round picks for.
Like, look at Deebo Samuel, look at George Kittle. Like, we got to watch them evolve into what they are today. Brandon Ayuk might have a crazy year this year. He should have had one last year, but there wasn't like an arm big enough to really like kind of get him where he's the best. And, sometimes people weren't going to. Like, he broke Jalen Ramsey's ankles in the end zone and the ball didn't even go to him.
We had same deal with Ramsey last year. I mean, DK just outmuscled him for the ball last year for a game-winning touchdown. I don't think Jalen Ramsey's the same as he was, but he's still really good.
Still, like, DK should be winning that matchup. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, but when you're considered the best cornerback in the NFL by a lot of people, you'd expect him to make that play.
I think he was considered the best cornerback in the NFL when he got traded. And he was probably, maybe you could say, that role for at least 2 years, but I think he's been falling off and like he still thinks he's the same guy.
Kind of like Sherman when he went to the 49ers, right? Sherman was not the best cornerback in the NFL when he played for the 49ers.
No, that first year he did not. He was still, trying to come back from that injury. And then the second year he played really good. And then was that the year we went to the playoffs, or was it the year after that?
No, his second year he played for you was the year you went to the Super Bowl.
Yep. And right at the end there, he got exposed. And that's why. And I was clamoring for him to switch to safety before then, because we could have used help in the safety position at that point in time. Because Jimmy can play man-to-man. Jimmy can come down and play man-to-man. So you could have put Sherm and Jaquaski Tart in the back there. And I was like, it'd just be one of the nastiest things ever to have Sherm as a safety. Is that big old brain computing all the routes that could be, and just watching the quarterback and knowing where he needed to be to just pick it off. It would just be nasty. It wouldn't be fair. And he just could not move to safety because it's like admitting that you lost your speed, that you this and that, you're not the same man that you were. And to me, that's bullshit, because a lot of the best cornerbacks switch to safety and they become even more nastier because, yeah, they might not be as fast, but they've learned a lot. And now they could take all that and apply it even more instead of like worrying about one guy. You get to survey a whole area. You get to sniff out the whole thing. If you're any sort of a detective, you can come down with a lot of interceptions. You can be making more plays, better plays than you were as a cornerback.
Well,
So
one thing I think about Sherman playing safety, let's be honest, I don't know if he played left cornerback for the 49ers. That's what he played here.
yeah, he played the same thing.
He was a press cover 3 or press man corner his whole life, right? I don't know. And Saleh came from Seattle, right? And that was a defensive coordinator. I just don't know. It sounds good in your theory, right? That he could switch to safety like that easy, but who knows? Who knows if he could?
So the way I see it, you're playing in the same system you've been playing the whole time. You know who's supposed to cover who. You know what I'm saying? You know where you're supposed to have help in the situation. You know all of that. Now it's just you're being in a different role. You know what I mean? You get to sit back and survey the field. Now, the depth might be his issue, is figuring out how the depth he needs to be, but that can be figured out.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a big thing. What up, Jess?
Yeah, what's going on? I just want to highlight your comment. Anybody that's in the chat, make sure to go follow her. She's a beast. Even though she's from the wrong coast, go follow East Coast Red and Gold podcast.
Yep.
I did want to ask you for sure before we get off, because this is something that needs to be talked about. Who stood out either good or bad during OTAs so far
for the Niners?
Yeah.
So it sounds like Brandon Ayuk and Christian McCaffrey are really setting the tone for the young cats. I think you're asking about quarterback.
Mm-mm.
No. So
I want to make it through this whole episode without talking about a quarterback, just because Steve-O said we couldn't.
Okay. Well, it just got brought up, but so no, we got that because Brandon Ayuk went off today. He had 4 catches. One of them was a 40-yarder. He caught all his balls. Deebo Samuel showed up. I heard our undrafted free agent running back from last year, Jordan Mason. I heard he was running with the first stringers. He was taking first stringer snaps. Like he's somebody you got to watch out for. Okay. We've got a lot of buzz around him. We all wanted to see more of him last year, and we weren't able to. This is a guy who we drafted Trey Sermon.
Yeah.
And Trey Sermon got cut because, well, he got put on waivers essentially to go to the practice squad because of Jordan Mason. He was so good that the Niners couldn't try and hide him on the practice squad. So they tried to hide Trey Sermon on there. They couldn't. He got picked up. I don't know where he's at now, but he's not doing well either. And we got another guy, Ty Davis Price, who's drafted in the 3rd, just same with Trey Sermon. And he's kind of in that same boat this year because it looks like we might have a couple undrafted free agent running backs that are doing the same. So, yeah. So there's things coming out. I wish we could have reporters there all the time.
Yeah.
It pisses me off.
Yeah, that's my thing. And nobody can watch it. We kind of just got to trust what people say, right? That's our thing. We kind of got to trust what people can say or trust what people say.
So the Niners let The Niners let the people, the reporters or the press, they let them record drills,
but not
but
players.
but not plays, as far as I know. Except for when it comes to like the publicized like practices with the fans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's our same thing too.
I think that's when they let anybody record anytime. But
The Seahawks were so weird. So training camp, obviously the fans are allowed there, right? You just get put on a list, and then they call you and say, "Hey, what day do you want to go to training camp?" And you tell them, "Oh, Saturday, August 1st," or something like that, right? And you go. But when COVID happened, they televised it on King 5. And I recorded it, obviously, and I came home and watched it. But they weren't allowed to show any plays. So what they would do was, a play would be coming up, and then the cameraman would zoom in on one player during the play. So you could not see what was going on. You could just watch, DK Metcalf run a route. That was it. That's all you could see. And it was so retarded or weird, sorry. Because it's just, dude, you're probably running basic plays that you don't care if anybody sees anyways, right? But they try to be so secretive, it don't matter.
yeah, it's like the teams are going to come out in the same formations for the most part year to year.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So what are we really working with here?
And once week one happens, right? You have tape. So they try to hide everything during the preseason, right? They're running basic ass plays, basic ass formations. And then week one happens, and then okay, everything's on the table. Everybody can see exactly what everybody's doing. So what are we saving it for? All week one?
Right. And from what I understand is the beginning, it's all the remedial stuff anyways.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's getting you back through the motions. They're not doing these big, real crazy plays. Those are done behind the walls where no, those are the trick plays. Those are the ones where, they're banking on getting yards. The other ones, we should be able to do, this is what we do. There's, the man beaters. Those ones are all locked up behind closed doors. What up, Spongy?
The Sponge is here. I just want to say sorry, Spongy. I've been gone the last couple Friday nights. I've been a real POS piece of shoot. Hopefully I hear from you soon, Spongy. It's been too long. Spongy's the man. If anybody doesn't know that, you clearly haven't caught up yet.
Well, he's not the man because he's still a teen, but
he's the Nino.
The Nino.
Yeah, he is.
Who's who's the Pinta and the Santa Maria?
No, Nino, not Nina. Nino.
Close enough.
Little Spongy, my Nino. My Nino, little Sponge.
So he's El Nino?
El Nino. That's about the only Spanish I know is Nino means boy. To be completely honest, I don't know much Spanish at all. I just know that from Chris Farley.
Yeah. Well, and the weather, La Nina, El Nino.
No.
Oh, you've never heard of the summers?
No, I knew El Nino was a hurricane like in the 90s, and Chris Farley goes.
It's not a hurricane. It's I think it's every 4 years. I think it's I can't remember. It's every once in a while there's something called El Nino, and there's stronger storms on the West Coast
I thought
here.
it was a hurricane.
And I think La Nina is when it's like when things aren't they're like more warmer and they're calmer. You know what I mean? Like it's like the storm season isn't as bad. And then you've got the other 2 years out of the 4-year cycle, I think, that are just average storms. You know what I mean? So I think once every 4 years, you get El Nino. And then I don't know how it goes.
I just remember Chris Farley going, he was on the Weekend Update one time and he goes, I am El Nino, fear El Nino. And then he goes, El Nino is Spanish for the Nino.
Dude, shout out to Chris Farley.
Yeah, big shout out to Chris Farley. Favorite of all time. What are the bads of 49ers OTA so far? Who has stood out poorly?
I didn't get that. We were upset that a lot of people weren't there. I haven't really.
Kinlaw still not there, or Hargrave, the other Javon?
I don't know. I didn't hear as much today. I had some stuff go on today, so
I completely get it. Same deal.
I've been dealing with it, so I didn't get to hear all the because I haven't been really hearing a lot of bad stuff. The only thing I guess I could say that would be bad to me is that our 99th pick overall, Jake Moody, is in a neck and neck duel with Gonzalez, the kicker. Yeah.
Where is he? Right there. I was looking for the comment. Moody is going to shock the world. He was the first kicker taken in the draft. If he's going to shock the world, he's going to do bad. Right? Better change that.
You make a great point there, Joe.
Have to.
At this point, shocking the world
would be
busting. Yeah.
I'm sorry. If you're a kicker we'll call it the 4th round because really it was a compensatory pick. We'll call it the 4th round.
Ooh.
If you're a kicker in the 4th round and if you get beat out by a guy that they literally paid you to take, I'm pretty sure, right?
Well, we got a pick that should be higher.
Oh, see, I thought it was the opposite.
I think.
Yeah, you got a pick that should be higher.
Yeah, we got a pick, but we might have to pay him.
You got him for free. You got him 100% for free.
I don't know how we finagled that.
I think they just didn't want him anymore. They're like, hey.
We literally took their whole team.
The Panthers or the Colts? Who was he?
The Panthers.
Who else did you take?
CMC. We took Steve Wilkes.
I
believe Oliver. I think there was 2 other players we got from the Carolina Panthers other than Gonzalez and CMC.
See, I didn't even think about CMC. That was the obvious one. So I'll tell you who looks bad in training camp so far. It will be Dwayne Eskridge didn't show up. You know, he's supposed to be fighting for that third receiver spot. I guess he just kind of gave up there. Maybe he'll fight for a roster spot when the season comes. And Drew Lock, I guess he was missing like all his throws. I guess the offense looked really smooth when Geno was in there, which is great to hear. But when Locke came in, I guess he looked like a deer in the headlights. So, but what's new? That's what he looked like last year.
Does he not know what he's doing? Like, I know they go in, they install this stuff. Everybody learns it. They figure it out. And then they go out and essentially run it almost as script, right? So where's the hang up? Like, if you know how to throw the football, I don't know.
I don't know. It's crazy because he was the he was competing for a starting job last year, right? Now he's competing for a second string spot. You think he'd be like kind of on top of it, but
He wasn't just competing for the starting spot. They decided to trade Russell Wilson to Denver because they wanted Drew Lock.
They say that. We'll see. that's a little
Well,
bit. He was good throw in.
But I heard that statement out there
By the Seahawks.
by the Seahawks, right?
Yeah, they've said a lot of things about guys that they've signed / traded for that have been thrown into deal. Oh, we've loved this guy since he came out of college.
Yeah, but why would you say that about Drew Lock, a quarterback that, you know what I mean? Like you wouldn't have to say something like that.
It's John Schneider and Pete Carroll. They put so much out there that, oh, we love this guy. We love this guy. I mean, it's
Dude,
not.
I saw John Snyder, some of his draft day calls, and he seems so cringy to talk to.
Oh, come on.
No, he was like, hey, yeah, this is John Snyder with the Seahawks. Hey, we're gonna take you here. Is that okay? It's like, wait, what? Bro,
Yeah, that's him.
yeah, that's awkward. Like
It's worked out. It's worked out.
It almost seemed fake, or like not fake, but like he doesn't know how to talk to them, or doesn't feel confident in talking to them. Like they're just gonna immediately tell him no. So he's like, like trying to word it so like there's a way out, so he could be like, oh, okay, yeah, cool. I was just wondering. It's all good. Take it easy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
to be honest, though, yeah, he is kind of awkward. But then you got Pete on the phone right after him, and I think that makes up completely for John Schneider.
oh yeah.
So it's a duo that we've grown to love here.
Pete seems like he'd just be a blast to talk to.
Oh, anybody. Yeah, I think anybody would love to talk to Pete Carroll just because.
Like, I don't like him kicking our asses all the time, but personally, he seems like it'd be fun to talk to. He's always trying to get after things, and oh, yep. He got the try. He got his little bike, and you know what I'm saying. He's doing his little thing, like.
Yeah, I mean, any coach in the NFL, I can't really think of anybody that would be more like easy to talk to than Pete Carroll, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's not just me being a homer, because I don't. Bill Belichick would be terrible to talk to. I still think he's the greatest.
A lot of people say that Kyle's easy to talk to, I guess. Or that players find him relatable.
Well, he's young.
Well, he's not really.
How old? Like 40?
You think he's older than me? 41, 42, 43.
Well, that's pretty young compared to Pete. Pete's 71.
No, I got you, but like I think it's more because like he's got the Yeezys. You know what I mean? That's why it's more relatable.
Yeah.
Like he had that the 49ers hat. Remember that 49ers hat?
Mm-mm.
Oh, he had a red 49ers hat with a little square logo with a 49ers logo in the middle of it.
You mean the snapback one? It was like a flat bill, right?
I think it might have been, but
it's fun. My dad's friends hate him because of that, because he wears flat bill hats. And
so that hat he had made, and it was like his patented hat. So like, some of the players are like, man, that's fucking tight. My coach got his own hat. They actually putting the hat out so people could buy that hat. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Well, you got anything else you want to talk about?
Is that a Cortez Kennedy?
Yep. Cortez 96.
There you go.
Trivia, he wore a different number for 1 year. What was it?
97.
99. Because that guy from the Eagles died. Played with Reggie White. I don't know. Jerome something. He died in a car accident. He's a defensive tackle.
Oh, what was his name?
I thought it was Jerome something. I could be totally wrong.
Taylor? Not Taylor. Derek Thomas?
No,
It
that's
wasn't Derek
58.
Thomas. Yeah.
No, he played for the Eagles. He was younger. He died in a car accident, so he wore 99 that year. He won Defensive Player of the Year, actually. But yeah, and then Cortez died pretty young, too. He died in like 2000. I don't want to get it wrong, so he passed away though.
Yeah. Gone too early.
Yeah, a lot of football players, a lot of people in general.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Anything else you want to get off your chest as a 49ers fan to a Seahawks fan, or?
I hope we sweep you again.
Fuck off.
Well, you should have asked. That's I want to do it. You know what I'm saying? I want it to happen. It's got to happen for a decade so we can get back to where we were.
It's just got to be 5 years. Just 5 years. Just 5 years straight.
No, a decade.
Well, no, 5 years straight, and then the record's even.
Yeah, I'm not trying to get even. I'm trying to put distance, bro. I'm trying to stand on the gas. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, right now we got you gapped.
Yeah,
so it's gonna be
that's
5
what
years.
I'm saying. It's like Corey. What did Corey talk? Oh, you probably weren't there. Corey's like, look, I want number 6. I want number 7. I want number 8. Take number 9. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's like, while we're here, load up on them, get it going so we can be good for a little bit, because we don't like, I don't know how to put this. We want to be number 1 overall, like historically, you know what I mean? And you can't do that if you can't keep up with everybody else. You know what I mean? So that's kind of our thing, is we want to win. You know what I mean? Like, that's not to say that your fans don't. It's just that the acceptance level of Super Bowl or bust every year is, like, that's what we're doing.
Well, to be honest, as a Seahawks fan, I get pissed off when the national media doesn't talk about us. And then I get pissed off when the national media talks about us because they don't know what they're talking about.
Right?
So I completely get it. We are completely unhappy regardless.
Oh, so the national media, Kurt Warner did a video on whether Brock Purdy is a dink and dunk quarterback.
Oh, he got on the board with that, huh?
Yeah. I'm like, wow, this is getting all the way up to Kurt Warner. Oh, this conversation. Oh, geez.
Who started it?
I think it was Ryan Hensley.
He pretty big over there.
I think he's got, like, I don't know what he's got for subscribers on YouTube, but he's got I don't know what he's got for followers on Twitter either. But it was just, he got into it with Larry Krueger, who is an old school Bay Area, sports legend, in the radio fame.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so it got around. Like, it got around. There was a beef, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, 49ers content creators, we have been just at each other's throats, bro. Holy moly.
Yeah, I can't say the same.
Holy moly. Gosh. Like, I am one who's down to get into fights. I am totally down to get into fights. But, like, I don't know why everybody's getting into fights over this stuff. It can be talked about rationally.
No, not on, especially not on May 31st, not on May 31st.
Oh, shout out to Luke Shirley. It's your birthday.
Shout out, Luke.
Yeah, it was one of my childhood friends.
Oh,
we actually what we're doing right now, Luke and I were trying to do back then on a camcorder.
Oh, really?
We're trying to have our own show. It's called Teen Talk. Yeah, there's somewhere there's a VHS with a young Ryan and a young Luke.
No facial hair, huh?
No
No beard.
facial hair. Oh my gosh, no. This
I,
is this.
it's like I'm talking to a different person, honestly.
Oh
Last couple weeks, I just don't know what to do. Like, who am I looking at? So
yeah. Um, I can go faster with no wind resistance. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
okay. Um, with that, I think we're out of here.
Yeah.
Unless anybody else has anything to say, I think we're good.
Oh, Spongy said Sam Darnold.
Good or bad? Good or bad?
We don't know yet. I hear today that they were both checking down a lot. Grant Cohn what I heard from Grant Cohn was he was upset because it was like, hey, you guys are in a competition, like compete. Don't just like let open
Okay,
guys down the field and not throw to them and check it down. He said Joe is a goat. That's little Spongy's last words or for the evening. Sorry.
Thank you, Sponge. All right, guys. Well, with that, I think we're getting out of here. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for being on the chat.
Peace.